They tryna turn Trenton into Baby Flint. Been signs by depression on the billboards ever since. 100 years ago we was lynched. Now they use germ warfare to kill us. I'm convinced, got the evidence. I look around and it's evident. Then go down to City Hall and see so much negligence. Real art is intelligent. A true artist sends messages that speak to your intelligence. They fought and died so I can do my thing. Not to get drunk and high or join no gang. I will not let none of you die in vain. For my people I bang, bang, bang. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. They say post-traumatic slavery disorder's fake, but I just tell them all to wake up. Everything we went through, what a way down a rape, bro. Isn't all genetic makeup. So I am my ancestors from block to block. Let's build like it's Tetris. We must unite, link up like a necklace. They fought and died and we disrespected. So I come to correct it. The legacy they left I protected. We only think about self and neglected. You're African but yet you rejected. No. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. My ancestors been through so much pain. I don't let them die in vain. I rep for you in everything I do. I rep for you in every place I go. I rep for you in everything I do. In every place I go. I do. I go.
Welcome back to another edition of New Freedom Exchange, your cultural expression for social dignity and community empowerment. I'm your host. I'm still Brother Dean, but Mujahideen is back on the scene, and I'm here with Brother.
What? Aki, come on, man. Even Bilal Hassan. Aki, no bloopers, man. Aki, come on. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Peace and blessings, man. We're in the studio with Brother Dean. Always Dean, Brother Dean. Of course, it says Mujahideen, but we call him Brother Dean up in this piece. But alhamdulillah, we're here today on this beautiful Wednesday, Wednesday afternoon here. Hope everyone is doing well. New Freedom Exchange here, coming to you live to kick off New Africa August, which is our topic or theme that we're going to be talking about throughout this month for the next few weeks here with very special guests and very important institutions and organizations that we'll be highlighting. Before we get to that and breaking down a little bit, going into the birth of a network, which is today's theme to kick it off, we'll start kicking it off with the birth of a network. As always, we appreciate everyone for tuning in, and we would like to acknowledge everyone. So wherever you're coming from, whatever city, country, state, shout us out in the comment section. Share, like, but most importantly, share to all your friends. Let them know, friends and family, that we're live right now on this platform. The birth of a network, talking about the birth of a network, and we're going to be talking extensively about that. So I see Khadija in the comments, as always, my big sis. Wa alaikum assalam. As always, we appreciate you sharing. That's so important. That's one of the ways that we're going to talk about how you can support this platform and our evolution, continue elevation and evolution of success. Dean?
Absolutely. I know we seem like we're one person missing. One of our wheels is missing. We give a special shout out to Sister Marsha. She's not feeling too well tonight. Maybe she'll be on a little later. But may she get a speedy recovery and join the show if she's available. I'm doing good. I'm here with the children, taking it easy, getting ready for this weekend. Got a beautiful experience that we're preparing for this weekend with the Black American Muslim meetup, also in the New Freedom Tour. So we'll be looking forward to that. We're getting a mobile studio, the transit ready, road ready, as we say, for that beautiful journey. I always love traveling. Traveling expands the mind, but also lets you appreciate the time that you have and the locations that you are when you go out and see other places and other people. COVID safe, of course.
Alhamdulillah, and we shout out to again Sister Marsha. May she have a speedy recovery as well, as she's our part of the bread and butter of this thing and keep things, this glue that keeps things tight here at the New Freedom Network. So we definitely wish her a speedy recovery, and hopefully, inshallah, maybe she'll jump on a little later before we sign off to give you all the salams and the greetings and extending this conversation. But yes, we are preparing for the BAM meetup, which is the Black. Which is born African American Muslims, bornites, as they call us, those who are second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth generation Muslims, those who have been born into an African American Muslim community, which is many different communities coming from many different experiences. We are coming together in a city of brotherly love and sisterly affection this Saturday, August 7th. It's in a location of a park in Northeast Philadelphia. So we look forward to being there with everyone and meeting everyone that we have talked to virtually in the physical space, of course, COVID safe. So we're NFX transportation, NFX mobile is up and running. As Brother Dean has mentioned, we will be hitting the road. So look out for us. Look out for the bus. It's coming to a city near you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, if y'all ready, if they're ready, Aki, they got to be ready, man. Because when you're on the New Freedom Campaign Trail, man, you got to go with the spirit is where it's at, man. We had some beautiful these last several Fridays in July. Actually, every Friday we were at a new location in the New Freedom region. We call it the Northeast region. We was in Philadelphia, Sister Muhammad School, kicking off July. I think from there we went to Newark, home of the Brick City, Masjid Wadathuddin. And then we went up to Brooklyn, man. We was up in Brooklyn, man, at Masjid Khalifa. And then last week we were down in Delaware, Masjid Al Kawthar. So we covered the four states in this region. We're looking to Connecticut and DC and Baltimore soon, New England as well. And then we work our way down to the southern region. Who's in the southern? You got North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia.
Georgia.
Virginia, you can't forget Georgia, Florida.
And Florida. Yeah,
we're going to rock the whole East Coast, and then we'll skinny on in the Midwest, Ohio, Indiana,
Right.
We did okay in geography, I guess.
Aki, we're going to cover basically.
No, your states.
Basically, we're going to cover the whole terrain. So we look forward to covering the whole terrain with everyone.
And the purpose is to connect and continue the. Okay, go ahead, beloved.
No, so we want to go in with everyone, inshallah, on this NFX tour. So if you're interested in joining us on the bus to these places, to these specific cities, to check out what's the pulse like in the communities across the country, we welcome you to do that. And more information will be forthcoming as relations to the NFX tour, because this is not just a tour of any other. This is a tour of cultural, about reestablishing that cultural and collective dignity. How can we reestablish that with our? I guess
somebody didn't broke in this. Somebody didn't broke in the studio.
Oh man! Walaikum assalam. The one and only Sister Marsha has joined us.
Walaikum, Sister Marsha.
So, okay, we were going a little strong. Trying to hold down the fort till you came, Sister Marsha. You were in our prayers for, of course, a speedy recovery. Yes, I'm saying how fine. So we're glad that you were able to join us for our show, for the show tonight. So now we can really get started.
Y'all gonna have to carry a little bit of my energy because we're gonna carry it all day because I don't feel too well. However, I'm here, so alhamdulillah for that one.
Yes, alhamdulillah, we appreciate it. That's why we're champions of each other, and we're warriors.
Oh, was that pun intended, man? Champions of each other?
Yeah, well, no puns and any puns included. Okay, alhamdulillah. So, yeah. So, Sister Marsha, she gave us her update, or you want to say more, Sister Marsha, about how your week has been going? Other than that, other than you're not feeling well.
Yeah, no, everything's been pretty cool. Been doing some training at work, some leadership training, which, anytime I sit in that kind of training, my mind always goes to how can I use this to benefit the community? Like anytime I'm in something like that, I'm in the moment, right? This is for my job. This is for being an effective leader in my place of business. But I'm always translating that. Thank you, Khadija. Assalamu I'm always translating that to how that fits for our community. So I had some really, really good sessions this week, and I'm planning to implement some of that stuff for our benefit.
Excelente.
The extraction piece is a crucial piece. Extraction. How can we utilize those skill sets and that advice and those tips that we get across the board? So that's an excellent extraction. So yes, take advantage, because people don't definitely take advantage of us, and take advantage of using those tips and tidbits for what they want to do. So why can't we do the same for our community, for our people? So definitely, I agree with that 100%.
The other thing is too, we do so much compartmentalizing when it comes to the way that we live our lives, right? We talked about this a lot in the Quran studies and leadership class with Imam Rashad, how we will separate science from religion, right? And I feel like we do that with so many things in our lives, right? The business piece is over here, and then the way that we live the deen is over here. But that business science, that's our law of science too, right? That's something that is laid out for us in this world to be able to utilize to develop and to flourish. And so we often compartmentalize things and put this over here and that over there when it's really all one. So the goal is to start putting the puzzle back together, because in many ways we took it apart.
True.
Excellent. I like that analogy for sure. I think I agree. We have, and that ties into our exchange for this evening, about a little bit more about the history of how we got together. How do we link up? How did this birth of the network even start? It's a very interesting story. So I'll preface it by saying that. And allow
Before
Dean.
we do that, though, I wanted to read the We Buy Black, give honor to the New Africa August initiative that was launched last year by Sharif Abdul Malik, the founder of We Buy Black, who graciously gave us his blessing to continue the initiative on the New Freedom Exchange Network. And we're going to highlight throughout this month institutions, organizations, groups in our association, what they're doing, their history, and how you can assist them and be a part of their mission as well. But before we go into that, I did want to read a post that Sharif Abdul Malik posted in regards to New Africa August, and then we can go back to where Bilal was taking us once we finish up. So this was the post. He said, "Peace, family. As global as the world is today, we have to remember that we must save ourselves and our community first, so that we can be in proper position to accept the role as leaders and caretakers of the whole universe. The best investment we can make is the investment on our own souls. Why? Because you can gain all the money in the world and use it to further destroy yourself and your community without realizing it. Let's participate in this month of New Africa August by examining our full life and creating solutions to help solve our issues. What's the best method to rid our community of drugs and intoxicants that degrade our life? What's the best solution to put fathers back into the home and accept their God-given social responsibilities? What's the best method to protect our families, our women, and our children? Every human being seeks paradise here on earth. We all naturally yearn for freedom, justice, and equality. We all yearn for peace, love, and stability. What will bring us to arrive here? Use this month to think critically, organize a plan, and use the rest of the year to execute your plan. Let's report our successes and bring hope to the hopeless, faith to the faithless, and God to the godless. Your brother, Sharif Abdul Malik, the CEO of We Buy Black. So we wanted to salute him and articulate that, right? Because we did post it, we did share, but it's good to also hear it in this space.
Yeah, I love that. I love that the part about the plan, right? So I just so for those of you who don't know, I am the principal for the Clyde Muhammad School in Newark, and I meet monthly with the Clyde Muhammad schools around the country and as well as internationally, because we do have Bermuda and as a part of our group, the Clyde Muhammad School in Bermuda as well. And so I just got off the call with them, and one of the things that we were recapping was the fact that we are participating in this strategic planning process. And we just finished talking about how establishing a plan is important, but more than that, using that plan as a tool, right? Many times we create a plan for something, right? We create a business plan because we want to go to the bank and get a loan, and they require that, right? So we do it to meet their requirements, but then from there we take that document and we sort of throw it to the wayside, and we don't use it as a tool for growing our businesses. And that concept of planning and then using the tool to steer where you're going is so vital, right? And it's not just in business. I use that example just now, but it's for where we want to go as a community, where we want to go as individuals, where we want to go as a family. It's all of those things. And so I like that in his message, he highlighted that plan, and that this be the time to, check in, right? Not just create something and then walk away, or celebrate something and walk away. Just, a couple of months ago, we were celebrating liberation, right? With Juneteenth. And so it's like, okay, great. We celebrate the liberation, but then what do we do about encouraging the progress, or, motivating each other towards getting to the next step? When, where, how do we check in? And so I see New Africa August as that time for us, right? To check in, to see what's out there, what's being done, what are the plans for it in the future, and how we can collectively help to move those things forward. So shout out to Brother Sharif Abdul Malik, and thank you for allowing us to extend your vision and really do some great things while we're here on this earth.
Excellent. I agree. I second what Sister Marcia said, and what Brother Dean has read the statement from our dearly beloved brother Sharif Abdul Malik of We Buy Black. And this month is not just a month of just that's just meant to pass time. We passed a lot of time, do a lot of months, Black History Month, where we remember our history, and other months that we participate in, and Juneteenth, as Sister Marcia mentioned. But the spirit of those months, and the reason why those months even came about, those days even came about in the first place, is so crucial. And how do we build upon that spirit and cultivate that in the actual earth, in the actual reality that we live in? How do we change our reality? How do we can change our condition as a people? How do we each become better, and better individuals, most importantly, better as believers practicing a faith base? If you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, whatever the case may be, how do you just become a better person? Just point blank, period. And how do you build upon those values? And Sharif mentioned in the statement, how do we become better fathers? How do we become better mothers? How do we become better children, better business leaders? All these different things that are quite every day. It's an everyday thing. We wake up every day. That Most High blesses us. We wake up every day with a fresh start. So it's like, what are we going to do with that time and the resources that Allah has blessed us with, the Most High has blessed us with? And clearly, this month here, we are going to do our due diligence, and we appreciate again echoing the sentiments that have already been shared, beloved Sharif, for allowing us to carry on and build upon the concept of New Africa August that he shared out this time a few years ago. So we are very grateful for that, and we're going to continue to push the envelope and continue to highlight organizations and institutions that are doing great work and that we should support.
So with that said, right, so we're highlighting institutions, right? And so that's our mission for this New Africa August 2021, is to highlight institutions, to highlight initiatives, and for our viewers and our listeners to be able to see what's going on out here, and to connect with each other, and to extend the great work. And so we're starting off this 2021 New Africa August with highlighting New Freedom Exchange, right? So this was a vision. This was a vision that has many parts to it. And so today our plan is to talk about how this came to be, and what the goals for the future are, and how the community can support it, can help to extend it for the greater good of all.
So we have a few questions we're going to cover. Assalamu alaikum, Imam Eric. Thank you for joining us. Also, Imam Yasin. Thank you for joining us as well. Sister Aisha K. Mustafa. Inshallah, she'll be on Muslim Journal. They scheduled to be on this Sunday. So looking forward to having a lively discussion and bringing her. She's one of the pioneers in media, Muslim media, Islamic media. And so and she's been carrying the banner of our institution with the newspaper for over 30 years. So we're looking forward to that interview on Sunday. So tune in for that, same station, same time. So we do have a few questions that we're going to cover in our discussion today. Would y'all like to kick off question number one?
Right. Our story, our history. So I think Dean, you could start us off, because initially it started with your concept, with your idea first, and then Sister Marsha came, and then I came along. Am I right?
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. Dean is the visionary. Definitely the visionary. So it began with him. So don't make that face.
Right. No, it wasn't for that. Yeah. So initially, this direction came from an invitation from Brother Khalid Islam with WD station, IWDM station on Blog Talk Radio. I had just recently been, I think, the imam for a few months in Trenton, New Jersey. Shout out to Talk About Community Learning Center. And he reached out to me to congratulate me, of course, but also he wanted to hear more from the young people in our community. What are young people doing? What's on their mind? And he offered us an opportunity to come on Blog Talk, create a show, come on Blog Talk, and invite them, present them. They want to hear from us. Our pioneer generation wants to hear from us. So basically that simple. So, I mean, I do a lot of things alone already, but when I'm asked to do things in connection to other people in the community, I try to spread the wealth. Not necessarily the burden, sometimes the burden, but also the opportunity as well. And so at that time, Marsha and myself, we had just recently met at the Muslim State Conference Planning Committee in Newark, New Jersey, and we were on the Youth and Education Committee. We were having weekly conference calls, building out the vision of the Council of Imams of New Jersey, and the Muslim State Conference in the Youth Education Department. And so when this opportunity came my way, I reflect on it a little bit. I already had some concept of New Freedom Exchange, some of the things we were doing before. That's coming down the road. We'll talk about that another time. So yeah. So this is when I tag Marsha. Hey, Marsha. Tag. You're it.
So Dean, your audio for me is a little choppy. I'm not sure if everyone else is hearing it that way. Choppy. But yeah, so for those, if others are hearing it choppy as well, I just wanted to recap what he shared in that. It started off as an invitation to do a show on Blog Talk Radio. And simultaneously to that, Dean and I had met working together for the New Jersey State Conference. Him working on the youth piece and me working on the education piece, and then we began to work together since we would be serving the same demographic. There was then an invitation to be a part of the radio show on Blog Talk Radio from him to me, and I came a little slowly, but I did come. I definitely came, but there was a couple of no's before, just some hesitation. That's all. And then we began to do the Blog Talk Radio show, which was great. It was great. It was my introduction to the media piece. It wasn't never really an aspiration for me, but it was definitely a pleasure to be a part of. We got a chance to interview some great guests, and in that, Imam Bilal was one of our guests. At the time, we were going through the pandemic, and going through the pandemic, he had an initiative to be able to support the masjids through that time, and I think it was also in the midst of Ramadan as well.
It was.
Yeah. And so, say it again.
You're on mute, Dean.
He'll explain it with them stimmies.
With the stimmies.
The first stimmy.
But yeah, that radio show wound up developing into a I'm sorry, there may be some noise in my background. That radio show wound up developing into a podcast, and I think what we do is so great. Like, I've been able to meet so many people in the community that I would not have ever. Maybe I'm not saying I would have met some of them, but for the most part, like, the connection just wouldn't have came because of our locales. Because of the things that we're into, we may not have had that connection. So I'm grateful.
And here comes me. And
tag, you're it.
Tag, I'm it. Yeah, so as Sister Marsha, building off what Sister Marsha said, it was Ramadan and it was the middle of the pandemic. We were in the height of the pandemic, actually, like smack dab right in it. Like, it was crazy. So at this point, the Congress had agreed to issue people their first round. I think it was the first round of stimulus checks. First or second round. I think it was the first round. I don't know. Anyway, first round of stimulus checks. And I came up with an idea. I said, well, why about we find a way to stimulate our masjids? There should be a masjid stimulus. We call it the Masjid Stimulus Challenge. Way that we can support our institutions. Well, the masjids are centers of worship and prayer and reflection, and center of gathering, because the majority of our centers were hit hard because of COVID. I mean, before that, but COVID just made the situation very worse, and struggling. People were struggling. Masjids are struggling. So I was like, let's do a Masjid Stimulus Challenge, because most majority of massages did not qualify for a stimulus unless they had several people on the payroll, unless you were paying people a salary, or people were being paid. And most of our massages, that doesn't take place. It's not set up that way as of yet. Some are, some are not. But anywho, Dean and Brother Dean here had reached out to me and said, we would like you to come on the show and talk a little bit to the Master Stimulus Challenge. I did, alhamdulillah, and it went extremely well. Extremely lively conversation on Blog Talk Radio. Mind you, I haven't been on Blog Talk Radio in years. I actually started out on Blog Talk Radio years ago. Myself, my friend Sajudeen, and his brother Majid, we had a show. We had several shows on Blog Talk Radio years ago. American Muslim 360. May Allah forgive his sins, grant upon his brother Thomas Abdul Salam, who pioneered that whole American Muslim 360 concept on Blog Talk Radio, and it's still going on today. So I got a chance to do that and got experience. So it was a while for me to get on Blog Talk Radio. I make fun of it. I say it's Sloth Talk Radio because the audio quality be choppy sometimes on there, and they still haven't improved the audio quality. But that's another topic. Anyway, long story short, after that, Dean, I think it was Dean, who was like, yo, I think it'd be a good idea if we keep this thing going. Do you want to join the team or whatnot? And let's keep it going, let's keep it flowing. I was like, yeah, I like the energy, I like the synergy of the group. I like the synergy that we had together on the interview, and I was just like, yeah, let's do it. So we kicked it off on Blog Talk Radio, and I would say we evolved. We evolved from Blog Talk Radio. It's not to say that we left Blog Talk Radio, but we evolved. All things evolve naturally, and nobody stays at one level. You never want to stay on one level of growth. You always want to grow and evolve. So we evolved from Blog Talk Radio and grew to this platform that we have today, and I'm just happy to be part of it, part of this family, part of this community that we're building here on this network. Yeah, so that's the story. I don't think I left anything out.
I guess one of the things, I don't think you left anything out as well. One of the things that people often think when we talk about what it is that we do, when we talk about the podcast, when we just talk about us all being together, the misconception is that we knew each other the whole time, because everyone's like, your vibe is so in sync. You guys, it seems as though you've known each other for a long time, and that's so not true. So that's just a testament to the fact that this was a part of Allah's plan, right? For us to come together and to do what we do, to have these podcasts, to bring our people on, to bring those initiatives on that are meaningful, that are impactful to being displays of social dignity, right? To community empowerment, to community development. Because I literally met Dean at the state conference. I met Bilal when Dean invited, him to be a part of the podcast. And even for me, I thought that even the two of you knew each other longer than you did. And I came to know that you knew each other in passing, but there was not an intimate relationship the way that we all are connected now. But the fact that it works so well, people always think that it's been that way. Hey, baby.
You already know.
People think that it's been that way for an extended period of time, but I just think that when you're meant to come together for the purpose of accomplishing something greater than yourselves, that it gels. It gels and it works. And that's the way that I see New Freedom Exchange and the initiatives that come up under our umbrella. So let's talk a little bit about our mission and our goals. Let's let people know what it is that we seek to do, and both on the short term and the long term. But let's give them an idea of what it is, why we came together to do this.
So yeah, so the, I didn't know what angle. I know we had discussed some points of communication. So it's not really as clear as it was when we discussed it. But I think what I get from what you're asking is that, so like we have children. I mean, Bilal, he'll catch up soon, and then the raising of our children. You want to put positive personalities, positive images, positive messaging before our children, right? And so one of the earlier things that we brought onto the platform was, thought leaders, authors, cultural artists who had regard for Muslim ethical principles, which are common universal human principles, and so we highlighted those artists, those authors, those thought leaders, right? And so the purpose of doing that was to create a discussion that brings about a new narrative, right? So a lot of times we always complain about what's on media, what's in the radio, so forth and so on. So we wanted to approach it from those who are already in that space, speaking to that, and bring them to the people.
Yes, and
you need some more? I got some more.
No, to build off of that. No, let me build off of that, Dean. Let me build off of that real quick. To build off of that, our tagline, the concept, to promote social dignity, and community development, or we say community empowerment, but I said community development because we have been empowered, and what I mean by that, we have had thought leaders, we've had leaders come amongst our midst, male and female, come amongst our midst and be with us in the physical plane, and have given us that empowerment that you can do it. That have given us that spirit, that sacrifice, that blood, that sweat and tears that went into empowering us, but also it kept us. They left a roadmap. They left a roadmap, a roadmap to what? To development. To not stop there. So we want to get back to that part, to the development piece, which will help us to bring about this collective dignity, or this unified dignity piece that we keep talking about. Because in a way, dignity has been lost in society. You could see it through the culture, which is what we talk about on this platform as well. The cultural piece. There's no cultural dignity. Just turn on the television. I mean, look at some of these shows that come on television, where the children are basically the parents. The parents, it's just crazy. The stuff is crazy. You don't have to go through it. We already know what we're up against, and that's just one notion. The music, of course, what we listen to, what we digest, what are we reading? What are we watching? What are we seeing when we go outside? All of those things are a part of that dignity piece, and we have to return back to being dignified children of Adam, because God has created us all noble and dignified. All of us are noble and dignified. When we get out of that mode of being noble, our nobleness and our dignity piece, then we act less thereof. So we want to act better, and we want to use this platform to promote excellence in that regard, and show by example from us, starting with us as a platform, as a collective platform, but also bring upon guests, special guests, organizations, institutions, poets, whatever you can think of, bring them here so we can highlight them and promote promote what they're doing.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you pointed out the excellence piece, because for me, in us using New Freedom Exchange as highlighting those images of social dignity, I also feel like we show people that it's possible, right? And that level of excellence isn't lost. We're bombarded with so many images in society, whether it's the news, whether it's a magazine, a newspaper, whatever it is, right? We're bombarded with images of us that are not, they don't highlight us in a good light. in many cases, and not in all, but in many cases, there are these, we see these images of what's gone wrong. And so I like to believe that we show what's going right, and what's possible for those who have a vision, have a goal, have something that they want to do to benefit the social good. And as they see the artists that we highlight, as they see the poets, as they see the business people, as they see, the government officials that we highlight that look like us, that connect with our experience, there's a sense of, I can do that too. And that's really the heart, I believe, of our podcast, to be able to put those of us on the screen who are doing great things, who are not, who are trying, right? Who are attempting, who are not just sitting back and dreaming, but are also doing. Because in their doing, we get to encourage whatever that thing is, but we also get to encourage the person who is sitting back and dreaming, to let them know that it's possible. Your brother's doing it, your sister's doing it. And if they did it with whatever circumstances were around them, you can do it with the circumstances are around you. And so from there, let's talk about some of our goals, right? Some of the things that we have planned going into both the short term and then in the long term future for the podcast, so that our viewers get to be a part of the journey.
Well, one of the short term goals is for our believers, brothers and sisters out there. If you have an idea for a show, if you have an idea of a podcast that you want to do, feel free to DM us, message us here. We'll put our email in the comments section, newfreedomexchangeshow@gmail.com. That's with an X, newfreedomexchangeshow@gmail.com. Email us what you're looking to do. If you have a developed idea for a developed show and you wanted to have it here on the network, come let us know. And on top, I will even add too, for those who already have an existing podcast already, and we would like you all to join the network as well, just so we can build up the channel, build up what we're doing. It's not just about us here. As you see, we have a number of other shows that already come on, and we would like to continue to build upon that as well.
Right, so like New Africa Talks is one of our host shows that come on our platform once a month. We also have She Speak Volumes with our dear sister Marsha. We also have Study Al-Islam. Study Al-Islam, we do them every Sunday now at 10 a.m. With different scholars in our faith, present different topics with the insights of Imam Muhammad and scripture. So just to echo again what Imam Bilal was saying, that, and we also want the youth. Like we have something, we wanted to launch called the New Freedom Youth Exchange, right? We want to have a platform for our youth, 17 below, to take the floor, share what's on your mind. Even gaming, right? My children, they laugh at me all the time. They play these games. So I said, well, we're going to do a show with you guys playing the game, and I'm sitting here doing what I do, my critique and all that stuff. But just to make it interactive, give them a space that we care about them and we want to hear their voice, because we don't know all the time, what affects them, what they're thinking about. Sometimes we take that for granted. And so we want to develop our youth, and word expression is a key way of giving them that opportunity to express what's on their mind.
And then finally, on our short-term goals, we want to be able to cover more of what's happening out in the community, right? So we are starting to be able to do more things in person again. We've obviously been impacted by the coronavirus and what that's done in our communities. But as we're able to do or have more events, we want to be able to cover your events, right? We want to be able to come and cover your red carpet prior to your event starting, and interview the guests that are coming to the event, and highlighting what it is that you have going on. So as those opportunities present themselves, feel free to reach out to us to get coverage for your event, not just I know that sometimes when people see us is, they do a podcast, right? So they come together, they discuss the topic, they bring a guest on. But in addition to that, we do want to be able to extend it to come out to your events. And, we're willing to travel. We've done some things. We were able to go to the tribute to Sister Shelley premiering her album release. We were able to go to that event. There may have been a few others that I'm just not thinking of right now because my brain's a little cloudy because I don't feel too well. But the point of it is that we want to be able to come and cover the preempting event of whatever you have going on. So if you have a red carpet, or if you weren't even thinking to have a red carpet, we want to be able to host that segment of your event, and maybe even extend to live streaming your event as it's going on our podcast. So as those opportunities, or as you begin to plan your events, think of New Freedom Exchange and know that we're willing to come in and do that for you. So that's another one of our short-term goals. So let's talk a little bit about the long term, because we do see this being bigger and better than what it is today. So let's talk a little bit about the long term.
I think I recall us wanting to have correspondence in different cities and different communities throughout the country and the world. Obviously, we're an international community, as I mentioned earlier. So in line with having a show, we also would like some live reporting. There can be an event that you're attending. There could be a convention that you're a part of, right? And we want to be a vehicle or outlet for you as well. So we'll be looking for correspondence throughout the country to assist you in what you're doing.
We had correspondence. Long term goal.
We should have. I didn't take no notes.
I have notes. I actually have notes. So
the sister got the notes.
Oh man!
So, one of the things that we talked about, and then I'll let Bilal extend it. I'll just sort of introduce it. And we touched on it a little bit already, but we do see ourselves establishing a network, right? So we have New Freedom Exchange podcast. That is our show. That is where we bring on guests and where we highlight individuals, institutions, initiatives in the community. But we also have other shows. New Africa Talks, She Speaks Volumes. We also stream Study Al-Islam. So in doing that, we are creating a network, right? So we want to establish this network, which, it's in its infancy already, where we have a network. The network is New Freedom Network, and up under New Freedom Network are our podcasts. So we often get asked the question, what is New Freedom Exchange? What do you do? And in answering that to someone, I would say New Freedom Exchange is a podcast. It is a show that we produce, that we stream online. We also have other shows that we have that we stream as well. However, all of those shows fall up under the New Freedom Exchange Network. And we just want to, one of our long-term goals is to build out that network. So I think it was Imam Bilal who mentioned earlier that, for other shows that are already established, we invite you to be a part of that as well. So I'll let you take that away, Imam Bilal.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. For those, like I said, for those who have shows already, and it's established, is running. I mean, we've been guests on some shows that have already been established. So, we're wanting the brothers and sisters to join this network as a family. First of all, family, build the community, and build this network. And it's a channel. So, like, when you're on the channel, you flip into the dials, what's coming on Monday night at 6 o'clock. Oh, such and such is coming on Monday night. So there's always something to look forward to. So, like, that's how we wanted to operate, something like that, where people have something to look forward to that's for them. Like, it don't have to be always New Freedom Exchange. It don't have to always be this or that. It could be a diversity. We want to diversify our content. So if you are into sports, if you have a sports show, if you have, maybe you're talking about music, whatever, cooking, maybe it's a cooking show for those who cook, and brothers and sisters who love to cook. We would love to have something about cooking on here, live in the kitchen. We know Chef Antar. If you're listening, you love to be in the kitchen, my beloved. So, we can get Chef Antar, Abraham Wishnov too, the Shabazanoff. We know he like to get down in the kitchen too, and a lot of believers. I'm just saying we want to diversify our content here. So anyone has a podcast that's developed that, or even if it's not developed, even it's like, I'm just getting off the ground, like it just got off the ground, that's fine too. You need an extra boost, we can help do that for you on this platform.
As well as the you went in and out. Okay. So the platform that we're using now, you all see us on the different social media outlet platforms. We're also looking to develop our own social media platform as well, right? So, as I said, it's an infancy stage. We're studying different, doing some research, but we also would like to have a product, an app. We also highlighted some people who had apps, the creative app, Feasibility Lab, Ticket Fishing, and some others that we highlight on this platform. But we also like to develop the network into an app as well in the near future.
And the last one on that long-term goal is the mobile studio. So, and I'll let Mujahideen talk more about that, because that's something that I know he is vested in. We're all vested in it, but I know that that's something that's near and dear to him. But to be able to have a mobile studio, right, to travel to various locales and have a studio that travels in a, how you go into the game trucks, right? It's a truck, and they kind of like pimped it out inside so that it's for gaming for the children. Like, we want to do that with a studio, to be able to come and travel to various locales, to be able to see more of you where you are, and to be able to do some in-person interview. And I think that would be so cool. It'll be a nice way for us to do some traveling, but also to get to see and break bread with those of you who we often just see through the screen.
Yeah, I mean, being in person has its many benefits, right? And then the thing with the media piece, which is, we're saying it, but we're not saying it, but it's all integrated in our mission. It's like, we talk about the narrative, right? And people get killed, people get harmed because of misinformation, disinformation, right? And so there's so many statistics out there that says like over 80% of American public haven't even met a real Muslim. You know what I mean? So to be able to go to a place, be who you are, introduce yourself, have a common exchange, that goes a long way. And so that's where the inspiration comes. I travel a lot. I travel with my family, my children. And so, it only just made sense to integrate that as a product, not just for us, but for the people that we want to serve as we travel throughout.
So now let's talk about how you can help. How you can help to move that along. Like, what can the community do? What can the community do to be able to help to see these goals come to life? And one of the things that we talked about when we sort of were strategizing on how to answer these questions for you is, and we talked a little bit about this already, is the coverage piece, right? The way that you can help is to, as you're planning your events, reach out to us about covering what it is that you have planned. Email, and I'm just going to lay out all three, and then we can go ahead and extend them from there. So the way that you can help is to be able to allow us to cover your events. You can also help by developing shows, right? We're not going to touch on every single topic that's important to everyone. And so there are those of you out here out there who have a topic that's near and dear to them, or have a subject matter that's near and dear to them that we may not necessarily focus on. So we invite you to develop those shows and to pitch them to us, and for us to work together to get them on the New Freedom Network, so that your show can become a part of our family. And then lastly, suggest topics to us. Oftentimes we meet weekly to figure out who we're going to have on, sometimes people approach us. Sometimes it's an idea that comes from us. Sometimes it's something that's going on in the world around us where we feel like, oh, we need to highlight this at this point because it's the perfect opportunity for that. But there may be something that you're like, you know what, it would be good for us to have a communal discussion about this particular topic. And so we invite you to make those suggestions to us, and to even possibly, suggest guests for us to bring on so that that topic gets discussed. Sometimes we deal with certain topics in our community in a vacuum or in a bubble, and we feel like it's not being addressed on a larger scale. This is the platform, this is the podcast to be able to do that, for us to have those discussions that people are not having on a community level, and for us to come up with solutions or to strategize for the benefit of progress. So those are the ways that the community can help to allow us to cover your event, to develop shows, and to suggest topics to us.
Excellent. I was trying to get my mute, my bad. Yeah, so the cornerstone, or the the summary of what we discussed today, covering our history, covering what we do, our mission, and how you all, our goals, some of our short-term and long-term goals, and how you all can assist us. It was very, I guess it was a slow, sobering discussion. Normally, how we be, hype and animated. We are that, but it was this month, as we're saying, we really want to focus on the things that benefit us and that we're working forward towards the future. As we bring on the guests throughout this month, similarly, we want to allow them the time to present, their history, the things, their mission, what they're working on, short-term, long-term goals, and how the community can assist them. We believe using this strategy will allow you, the listeners, and those who will share this message, to be a part of something if you're not already a part of something, right? Or to see where you line up at and how you can benefit. Because again, one of my things is that, and it's not talked about a lot, and I don't always try to be the doom and gloom person, but it's just a reality. Like, there's so many different tribes out here. There's so many different confusions, so many different traps, and people just need a safe space. People need to know that there are other people that share their values, share their principles, and we're working for the common good. And so that's what we really try to highlight in everything that we do, because that's the ultimate goal, the triumph over tragedy. Because tragedy is always awaiting somewhere around, but good always outwins.
Alhamdulillah. And we are looking forward to New Africa August with you. Looking forward to being with you all for this month, New Africa August, here on the Freedom Network. Now we're going to call this the network. From here on out, the birth of the network has been birthed here live on the Freedom Network. On Sunday at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern, we will have our dear beloved sister Aisha K. Mustafa from the Muslim Journal, the senior editor-in-chief. She's been part of this. She's been holding down the MJ for over 30 years, a little over 30 years now. Maybe even 40, but definitely over 30. She's going to tell us her story, a little bit about the story of the Muslim Journal, its evolution, and we'll cover the areas, basically how we covered ours. The same will follow for suit for the other organizations, institutions. So come on back on Sunday at 7 o'clock here on New Freedom Network. We will have Sister Aisha K. Mustafa from the Muslim Journal to talk a little bit to us about the journal, how we can support the journal, the short-term and long-term goals for the Muslim Journal, where are they heading towards, and how can we be part of that journey? And if you're not already part of the journey, how can you hop on and become a contributing member of that journey to help sustain, preserve, and move forward our institutions and organizations that we have, and build new ones as well. Oh, here it comes. Here we go. We got to get the sister on. All praises due to Allah. The Muslim Journal would like to collaborate with New Freedom Exchange. There is so much we can share. Keep the soldiers. Look forward to discuss during Sunday's show and before. Alhamdulillah, yes, Sister Aisha, we look forward to it. As always, we love having our elders, our OGs, some would say, those who paved the way, our treasures, our gems, those who have these stories to tell. We're always intrigued by the stories. I mean, we love story time. And it's not just a good story. It's not about just being, happy thereafter. It's about this, how the motivation, the inspiration, the sacrifice that had to happen in order for us to even inherit what we have inherited. That's really like the main piece that we would like to leave people with, is that piece of motivation that, listen, you have people like Sister Aisha K and others who have put in some serious work. It's a lot of serious work and time and effort. And yes, thank you. Yeah, shout out to Sister Sultana, Samar's fellow sister.
That's my sister.
You got to get the sister in there. You got to get that in there, and they'll be coming on as well. Sister service as well will be gracing the screen momentarily, sometime this month as well. So yeah, I'm just saying, just join us, as throughout this month, because it's going to be really good. Hopefully this will give people a sense of an update as to where we are, and most importantly, how can you get up from your seat and support it, and not just be a what they call a sideliner, come off the sidelines. And sometimes we need an invitation to come off the sidelines. So consider this your invitation to come off the sidelines and actually find your way to get involved.
Absolutely. Can we close out? Before we close out, can someone do the quote? I had it, but I'm on another device now, of the one we have on New Africa on the fly.
Sure. Before I do the quote, I just wanted to say to our viewers, if you are part of an institution, a group, or an initiative that you would like to have highlighted during New Africa August or featured during New Africa August, we welcome you to reach out to us so that we can schedule a day for you to be on here, so that we can talk about your mission, your goals, and how the community can support that. Our goal is to fill up as many days in this month with these features, so that we get to know what's going on out there. We're not always able to see each other or be a part of each other's initiatives because of distance, because of space, because of time. But this is an avenue to be able to do that. So we invite you, if you are a part of an initiative or a group or an institution, to reach out to us, and also let us know that you want us to feature you, and we'll send you a calendar and give you the option to pick a date, and it's as simple as that. We'll be willing to feature you on the New Freedom Network.
On one term, we say there's room for all.
Okay.
As all respect the room. So
absolutely, we are all about respect. So Make sure you follow those rules. And we usually, we try to do a preliminary meetup with you before you come on the show anyway. So just to make sure everything is in alignment. But absolutely, we want to fill up as much of this month as possible so that we get to know what each other is doing and we get to support where there is room for us to support. So before we close out, I'll read the quotes about New Africa. And it states, New Africa is a vision we want to implement, to visualize a logic we want to apply, a life we want to live. And that was a quote from Imam W.D. Muhammad. And so as we journey through this month of New Africa August, we want to put ourselves in a position of being visionaries, being people who work towards implementing our visions and approaching it from a standpoint of this. We're creating a life we want to live, right? New Africa is it can be a place, but it can also be this state of mind and how we want to live, right? And so this is a time to be the visionary and to work towards the implementation so that we bring all the great things, great things that Allah blesses us with to be able to see in our mind's eye to life.
Excellent. I got two clips. We're going to just do the clip of Muhammad Ali. He's going to give us his little poem, and then we'll close out with a
little poem.
A beautiful poem.
I was about to say the same thing.
Little poem of Ali, man.
Watch your language, brother. I might be sick, but I might be a little sick, but I definitely I got to break out on that one.
Put some respect on our beloved brother, man.
Put some respect on his name.
The Honorable Muhammad Ali. We're gonna give one of his recipes for success. Excellent.
Yes.
In a poem fashion, and then we'll have a closing song, and then till next time, peace.
Peace, everyone. Salams.
What you gotta say, D? Nothing.
What would you like people to think about you when you've gone?
I'd like for them to say he took a few cups of love. He took 1 tablespoon of patience, 1 teaspoon of generosity, 1 pint of kindness. He took 1 quart of laughter, 1 pinch of concern, and then he mixed willingness with happiness. He added lots of faith, and he stirred it up well. Then he spread it over a span of a lifetime, and he served it to each and every deserving person he met.
Muhammad Ali, thank you very much.
They ask me about religion, why? They ask me about my race and my tribe. They ask about my complexion, why? When they ask me, this is what I say. My grandfather was a Muslim, and my daddy was a Rasta. They were searching for the truth, and the Quran gave the answer. They put their hands up in the sky, and they ask the Lord why. We not gonna worship the creation, we only pray to the Creator. Guidance is a gift that the Lord shall give to any man or woman, whether small or big. God said you must reflect, you have to use your mind. So now you know the reason why. My grandfather was a Muslim, and my daddy was a Rasta. They were searching for the truth. In the Quran they found the answer. They put their hands up to the sky, and they asked the Lord why. We not gonna worship the creation, we only pray to the Creator. The messenger of God, the best of creation. Peace and blessings be upon him and his one nation. He came to teach the world, came to free our souls, and the charity comes from a smile. So when you see me on the road, give me a smile. I say salam alaikum to my brother's wife. Cause it's peace for you and it's peace for me. Peace from my granddaddy. My grandfather was a Muslim. And my daddy was a Rasta. They were searching for the truth. In the Quran they found the answer. They put their hands up to the sky. And they asked the Lord why. We not gonna worship the creation. We only pray to the creator. My grandfather was a Muslim. And my daddy was a Rasta. They were searching for the truth. In the Quran they found the answer. They found what they were looking for. They put their hands up in the sky. And they asked the Lord why. We not gonna worship the creation. We only pray to the creator. Grandfather was a Muslim, and my daddy was a Rasta. They were searching for the truth, and the Quran gave the answer. They put their